In this video, we're going to look at using world statistics in order to see what tiles and POI are on your map. This can let you determine what is or is not on your map and find ways to make those appear on your map. To create world statistics, you're going to load up any preset that you have. Right now I've got World Generator 2 loaded, and then you're going to scroll down on your preset until you see your Create Towns and Create Region POIs commands. We're going to place the commands to create the world statistics after where you have Create Towns and Create Region POIs, as well as after any other command that may place a town or POI on your map. To do this, we're going to click on this comment line right after it. That way when I add a command, it's going to appear after that line. And we're going to start by clicking on Create World Statistics Data, and we're going to add that to our command queue. As you can see, it shows up right here. We are also going to click on Export Text Data, and we're going to click Add again. So now we have two new commands. Again, this can be on any preset. You just need to make sure they're after any town or POI commands. We're going to start by going up on this Create World Statistics Data command, and you can see that the name is called World Statistics. It's important that you know what that name is, because you're going to then go to Export Text Data, and we're going to change that to match. It needs to be the same as what you have here. You can use another name if you want, just as long as it is the same name on both commands. Also on Export Text Data, we need to put a file name. This can be anything you want. I'm just going to call it statistics. And we want to put the extension .html because it will be an HTML file, and this makes it load easier. You can call it something else and then try loading it in your browser, but it may not show up properly. We're going to go back to Create World Statistics Data, and you can leave this as it is without making any other changes, and you'll get your data, but we're just going to go through these real quick. As you can see in the screenshot here, there are different columns. Each of these columns are what you see here. So we have tier, tag, size, thumbnails, and marker data, which you'll see on here. If you don't want some of these columns, you can uncheck them, and then the columns will not be on your data. This next part is name filter or blacklist. This will prevent any POI or tiles that start with these names from being in your list. This is mostly to keep out things like parts and decorations and certain things that just normally would not be something you want to have on your list. You can normally leave these default items here, but you can also add your own if there's something that you don't want to show up on the list. Tag filter will also blacklist anything that uses a tag that is in here. So this will automatically not show any of the test POI. So any of the vanilla test POI that they have that usually start with the AAA in front of them, those won't show on here because you're normally not going to be placing those on your map anyways. Like I said, normally you can leave these as they are, but you can edit them if you want to either add more things to block or take things out. Now that you have these two commands in place, all you're going to do is run your preset. I've already done that. So we look at 2D preview. This is the map that I created. I did it on a small map, so it's only a few towns and POI. And then we're going to look at that statistics file. That file is going to be in your location where your map is. In this case, I created the world name example. So it's going to be located in that example world that's in generated worlds. So now you see I've opened this up in my browser, and we can take a look at what we have here. Available POI, I have 748 possible POI that can be on the map. 591 of them are not on the map, but there are 371 that are on the map. Again, this was a small map, which is why so many of them are not on the map right now. Now these are going to be sorted based on how many are on the map and then by the name. So at the top, you're going to have everything that's not on the map in alphabetical order. And then if we scroll down to the stuff that's on the map, you'll see these now have one, so these are each on the map once. And everything that's on the map once is in alphabetical order. If we have anything that's on more than once, which we do have some that are twos, these are also in alphabetical order for everything that's a two. And that would be the same for any other numbers, like these threes down at the bottom here. As you can see, the categories that we have for each column, we have the name of the POI, how many times it appears on the map, what tier the POI is, what size it is, what the tags are, what the marker data is. Now marker data is only going to show up on tiles. What that does is it shows you, if we scroll down at the bottom here, this tile here, residential corner, has 5 different places for POI. All of them are size 42 by 42 with no tags. That means that any POI that is 42 by 42 and is residential can be added to that tile. Anything that's not that size or has some other district than residential would not appear on that tile. For any of the POI, you don't have the marker data, but you do have tags. So these remnant houses can be on residential cul-de-sacs, 42 by 42. In this case, these don't have tags, so they should not appear there. If we look down at this tile, we have 2 cul-de-sac tags that are 42 by 42. So those remnant houses could appear on those locations. You can use this as a way to try to find out why certain POI may not appear on your map. You can check the tiles that are on the map and see if any tile supports that POI. If not, then that would be your first reason why the POI is not on the map. And you just need to find a way to get a tile on the map that would support that POI. If the tile is on the map that would support the POI, it's possible that the POI just didn't get placed because a different POI got there first. If that's the case, you can add that POI to your POI property list using the property priority and set it to 1, and that will make that POI appear before any other POI of that size. That should make it easier to get that POI on the map. Of course, that probably means a different POI won't appear on the map. The other option is to have a larger map or larger towns or more towns. Any of those things will help to increase the chances that those POI will be on the map. For wilderness POI, it's mostly just comes down to having enough space for those POI to appear, or if a POI is limited by biome, making sure that you have enough space in those biomes for the POI to appear. This file can be very useful to help find out what's on your map and what's not on your map, and that can let you make choices to try to get the things on your map that you want there. If you have any questions about using this file or using Teragon in general, you can check out the chat and help channel on Teragon's Discord, and someone will be able to help you.